Oh, sorry, excuse me. I'll be with you in just a minute. I just have to finish doing my devotions first. Hi, I'm Rachel from 7 in All. Lately, there has been a lot of talk about how to do church at home because of the coronavirus or COVID-19 pandemic that we're currently experiencing. And in this kind of time, doing church at home is a great idea. If we can't gather together with our local churches, let's be especially intentional about building faith within our families, even during these times of social distancing. But I think there's a little bit more to discipling our kids than simply trying to recreate a church service within the walls of our home just because we can't go to church. See, I'm a homeschooler. And homeschoolers are famous for saying that just because we're homeschooling, it doesn't mean that we recreate a school inside our homes. In a similar way, discipling our families at home doesn't need to be a reenactment of a Sunday morning worship service. So we are starting a series right now on this channel about outside-the-box family devotions that might not look like anything you would expect. We'll be working out our faith journeys through the joys and sorrows that take place in the midst of everyday activities that we have to do as a family anyways, just like washing the dishes. And that's where we got the name for this series of devotions, Dishes and Discipleship. So it might be that when parents like me first think about how to do church at home with our family during these times, or even during normal times when we want to do family devotions, the first thing that we think of is we need to have Bible reading and teaching, and we need to have songs. So we'll get out a Bible. Hopefully it will look just as cool as this one. And we'll get our hymnals, or we'll find some songs on YouTube to stream and sing along with, and we'll read Bibles with our families, and we'll sing songs. We'll maybe listen to some sermons that are streamed online from our churches, and there's nothing wrong with this. If you have very young children, like I do, your home church might look more like using something like this instead of the fancy Bible. You'll use a children's storybook Bible, and maybe you'll sing more of the children's worship songs together. And there's nothing wrong with that either. I have enjoyed these times of family devotions in my family, and I encourage you to do that too. But I want to get you thinking outside the box. Through Dishes and Discipleship, I want to add another tool to your discipleship toolbox. I want to get you thinking about what family devotions or home church or discipling your children might look like that doesn't look anything like a church service or anything like most of the spiritual disciplines that you've been accustomed to thinking about. Sometimes we as families and as parents can struggle to make discipleship practical. Deuteronomy 6 encourages us to love the Lord with all of our heart and soul and strength, and teach our kids to do the same thing. If we are believers, we're supposed to be devoting all day, every day. How do we do that? Because realistically, I'm a mom of 2 kids, 2 and under. I'm not going to be reading this to them all day long. These kind of outside-the-box family devotions are simple. They are challenges to take everyday opportunities and use them as opportunities to love extravagantly, to obey that great commandment, to love God and to love our neighbors. Doing devotions, discipling our families, and having church at home, they're not, and I mean not, exercises in showing how great I am, how nice I can be, or what a good Christian I am. Rather, they are an adventure in trusting God for the impossible in our families and in our children's lives. Loving well and loving our families even when the daily nitty-gritty of life seems overwhelming. In disappointing and scary times, this can seem impossible. But right now, as we're self-isolating, as we are social distancing, let's allow God to prove himself strong on our behalf. He says, love others. Let's see what he does when we try it. So, are you ready? Dishes and Discipleship isn't a Bible study. but you'll need all the truth you've learned from God's Word. This series won't include any worship songs, but the joy from a family determined to purposefully adventure with God, this is music to anyone's ear. Come with me on an experiment. Let's explore what we can learn as a family through outside-the-box devotions that might look like nothing you've ever imagined when you pictured family devotions. These devotions are meant to spark ideas of how we as families can grow in faith while we respond to the challenges that come at us each and every day. We are creating this series in response to the current need for at-home family discipleship as churches around the world are discouraged from meeting. But any time is a good time for discipling our families. Thank you for watching, and please, you might want to subscribe so that you can make sure that you see the rest of this series as we journey together in dishes and discipleship with 7 and all.